And today we shine a spotlight on the vital role that customer service plays in every successful business. We'll also be discussing best practices that can elevate customer interactions. Join us for this conversation. We have two ladies that talk to customers a lot. We have Chidima Suni, she's the Chief Customer Experience Officer, Coronation Group. We also have Chiamaka Ugo Bidike, Chief Client Officer, Coronation Registrars Limited. Join me via Zoom. Great to have you both.
Thank you, Ladi. Thank you for having us.
Fantastic. It's great to have you. Happy Customer Service Week. But let me start with Chidima now. These are challenging times for consumers and businesses alike. So how do you manage to put the consumer first, in a challenging business environment?
Right. So, thank you so much for having us once again. So these are very trying times for consumers, especially given the current economic situation. There's just so much pressure on the consumer, and the consumer is only going to buy what is a necessity. So in what we're doing, or what we need to do as customer service people in this case, is to make sure that, first off, is whatever we're offering the customer is fulfilling a need, a very basic fundamental need, or is adding additional value. That has to be done, because those are the only two things that will guarantee that the customer stays with you and that the customer sustains whatever business is being done with you. So two things is meeting them at the point of their need and adding value in whatever interactions we have.
Right, and I know the consumer service, the customer service, representatives, most of them, are going through a lot right now, dealing with a cost of living crisis. So how do you, put your issues aside, to make sure your customer gets the best experience? Chidima.
Right. The first thing is empathy. I think that is a very fundamental attribute from a customer service standpoint. The minute that we engage each interaction, or the minute we go into each interaction with empathy, I think we'll be on the road to ensuring that customers have meaningful interactions with us. So, for example, if a customer is complaining that they've not been able to perhaps withdraw money, or, you can see that this customer is in need. It's not about engaging in any defensive exchange with the customer. It's about acknowledging that we understand where they're at this point in time, understand the pain, and then go above and beyond to make sure that we can address their issues. So I think empathy is the critical word to answer your question.
All right, let me go to Chiamaka now. The theme for this year's Customer Service Week is above and beyond. And, definitely when you talk about going above and beyond, for the customer, tell me, what does that entail really?
Thank you very much, Ladi, and happy Customer Service Week. It's that time of the year again. So going above and beyond is doing so much for the customer beyond their expectation. And this is really very important, even as we celebrate this week, because beyond this week celebration, this should be our everyday reality for every organization that is open for business, that is getting money from people in terms of as customers and offering value. We must strive to go above and beyond what is expected beyond the customer expectation. Even meeting the customer, the basic expectation of the customer can be challenging. It takes a lot of effort. And so people must be willing to go beyond their limits, beyond what they can ordinarily just say, I have tried my best, to really meet the customer needs. It can be around speed. You need to deliver fast. You need to deliver without error. You need to deliver, exactly as the customer wants it. So going beyond and above should be our everyday reality. Thank you.
Right, and going beyond and above, would that necessarily eat into revenue and profit of the company? That's for you, Chiamaka.
Can you take that again? I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I said, going above and beyond, for the customer, does it translate to sometimes, eating into the revenue and profit of the company?
Does it translate into revenue?
That's eating into the revenue.
Is that the question?
Yes, eating into the revenue and profit of the company. In going above and beyond.
Going above and beyond. Yes. So the customer is the reason we are in business. And when we are able to go above and beyond to meet the customer expectation, it leads to customer loyalty. And the customer continues to patronize the organization, and that increases the bottom line. Many businesses are out of business today because they are not able to meet up with their customer demand. And if you're not able to do that, your revenue will drop and continue to drop until you go out of business. So going above and beyond, like I said, must be done to keep everyone in business. Thank you.
All right, let me go to Chidima now. So what matters now, in this kind of business environment? Is it the customer's loyalty or the customer's money?
Very good question. So, of course, we're all in business to make money. So, I would not underestimate the value of, the bottom line. However, we're talking longer-term sustainability, especially now that customers have to compete, customers have limited funds and there's so many competing needs for customers. So you really need to be speaking you need to be speaking to the customer's emotions for them to pay you any attention. And so I would say loyalty is what will sustain whatever business you have with a customer in today's environment in the long run. You really have to be meeting an emotional need for these customers for them to stay with you beyond what we have now. Profitability, the bottom line, fantastic. However, stickiness for the customer is something that you can't underestimate at this point.
Would you say it's getting easier or harder to keep customers loyal, in these times?
Oh my, it's actually getting harder to keep customers because I think the service economy has basically created a very wide marketplace with so many options. So customers have a myriad of options to choose from. And if you're not serving them in one way, they hop onto the next. If you go on Instagram, TikTok, you have a myriad of vendors offering you their services on a platter. So, organizations have to work twice as hard to sustain customer attention, so to speak. And so in this environment that we're in, it's become a lot more difficult to keep the attention of the customer. You have to be doing something different for them to stay.
All right, let me come to Chiamaka now. So how do you make a customer loyal if your product or service is a want and not a need?
Yeah, there seems to be an audio issue. I can't hear you clearly. Please, can you take that again?
Yeah, so I'm saying, how do you, make a customer loyal, if your service or your product is a want and not a need?
Okay, very well. Thank you. So, in this environment that we are in, this current economic situation, people want to focus on their needs more than their wants. But again, you need customers to be loyal to you to keep your business going. So for you that you are into a business that is not a need, you're offering a service that is not a need, a want, you need to add other things to your business that keep the customer. Chidema talks about stickiness. You need to partner with other organizations that offer more like a bundling, so that even though they're not using your service, you can log on to other people's platform and still offer a service that they need. So orchestration is one way to do that. Partnership, strategic partnership is one way to do that. You may not be the one visible to the customer, but behind you are partnering to offer that service. And so you can continue to retain their loyalty. Thank you.
And how would you say, technology and social media is shaping, how businesses, keep customers loyal?
Yeah, I think there's still an audio issue. I still can't hear you very well.
Oh, I'm sorry about
You can
that.
take that again.
Yeah, so how do you, use social media and technology to actually keep, your customers loyal to your brand?
Yeah, the social media is the new world right now. So any business that is not on the social media is missing out. So everybody must find an online presence. You must your website, your social media handle must show what you offer, because that is where most people go to when they are searching for a product or service. So you must ensure that your social media is up to date. If you look at so many people's handle, the last post maybe like last year or 2 years ago, and then some of the information are stale. All the phone numbers on the page, nobody picks it. So for you, it's just like your new office. You must ensure that everything there is up to date, the phone number, the services, the pricing. The pricing most especially, people are on the go, they want to see the information as it is. So the social media is a new office, and everybody who wants to keep customers and want to attract new ones must be very visible on the media with up to date information. Thank you.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because you see on social media, sometimes on X, you see some customers going onto the platform there to call out, some brands, when they have issues with them. So we're seeing, most of these brands respond very fast when they see their mention on social media. But let me come to Chidima now. So definitely prices, I think everyone's getting used to higher prices now. You just expect that prices are going to go up, at some point, seeing what's happening with energy and food, in Nigeria. So, Chidima, tell me, how are you seeing customer protection in Nigeria so far?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said, the last part of your question.
Yeah, I'm asking how you're seeing consumer protection in Nigeria so far.
Right. Correct. Okay. Just wanted to confirm if you can still see the video just before I start.
I can see, we can see you, but you're not set up the way we set you up before. So that's why we're using that.
Yes, I was trying to log in from my laptop.
Right.
I think I had a little bit.
Right, but you can carry on. Yeah.
All right. So I would say consumer protection in Nigeria, we've made significant strides there. There are a lot of increased regulations around transparency, fairness, but the real challenge now comes with implementation. Okay, so these regulations exist, but how do we know that they are consistently applied across sectors? So for sectors that are heavily regulated, say financial services, it's easy to track the implementation of these things. But when you come to the gig economy, micro entrepreneurs, if you go on social media, everybody is monetizing their passions and living their passions and earning money off it. Now, are the consumers of these section of, or this group of entrepreneurs or business owners, are their consumers protected? I can't beat my chest and say yes. I think that we need to do a lot more in that area, because that's when you see a lot of customers take to the court of public opinion on social media to air their grievances, because that's about where the only place where they feel they can be heard. So I'll summarize to say that within the more structured sectors of the economy, yes, the consumer protection exists. However, there's a need for more education of the consumer on even what their rights are. That's number one. And then the more the sectors that are less well regulated, we need to shine the spotlight on those areas.
All right, and I'm sure you remember the saying, the customer is always right. Is the customer still right?
The customer will always be right. There would be times when their perspective may be different, right? But I think all in all, they should always be heard. So we may not think that they're right in all contexts, but I think the bottom line is we need to understand that they're dealing with the general frustrations of daily life. And if you bring it home, the general frustrations of just being a Nigerian. So that's where the empathy that I spoke about earlier comes in. So it's not about arguing or proving who is right or wrong. I think it's about listening, making them feel valued, and even when they are not right, quote unquote. If we can handle that situation with understanding and with respect, we can turn negative experiences into positive ones. So no, the customer is not always right, but they should always feel like they matter.
Right.
I hope that answers the
Fantastic.
question.
Always make the customer feel right at this point. Thank you so much. Let me take it on to Chair Maka now. So how do you think businesses should actually celebrate customers this week, and what happens beyond this week?
Thank you very much, Nadi. So a lot of businesses are doing, implementing so many initiatives to celebrate their customers. We have gifts going out for working customers. We have refreshments. Just like in Coronation, we have gifts for our customers. We visit physically. We do a lot of things to ensure that they are served. Most importantly, that the reason why they are doing business with us is met. That's primarily what it is. Then we can also give gifts and refreshments and all that. And then beyond the week, that has to continue. Most important is meeting their core needs. The reason they have come to us as customers must be met. And then meeting their needs emotionally and then seeing what more that they need. Just like Chidima talked about customer being right, the customer is right up to the extent of the service promise and to the extent you want to make more money from that customer. So we continue to listen to them. We continue to do exactly what they want so they keep coming back and they can refer others to the business and then the business continues to make money. Thank you.
Right, and maybe I should come to your office later and maybe I can get some refreshments, even though maybe I'm not that kind of customer, but we'll see. But thank you so much. It was great having you both. Chidima Asuni, Chief Customer Experience Officer, Coronation Group, and Chiamaka Ugo Obidike, Chief Client Officer at Coronation Registrars Limited. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.